Imagine this. What if you could improve by just 1% every single day? It might sound small, almost insignificant, but what if I told you that these tiny changes would compound over time, leading you to achieve things you never thought possible? It's like the story of the bamboo tree. It spends its first 5 years just building its roots, but in the 6th year, it grows 90 feet tall in just a few weeks. That's what happens when you make small improvements day by day. Today, I want to show you how this simple principle can create ultimate change in your life. We all dream of making huge changes in our lives, and we often think that in order to succeed, we need to make big, dramatic leaps. The truth is, you don't need to overhaul your life overnight to see success. You don't have to wake up tomorrow and suddenly become a completely different person. The key is small, consistent improvements, a 1% better version of yourself each day. But why does this matter? The power lies in the compound effect. Think of it like putting your money in a savings account that gains interest over time. At first, those small deposits don't seem like much, but eventually, they add up. The same goes for your efforts. A small improvement, day after day, doesn't seem like it'll make much of a difference in the moment. But over time, those 1% gains will add up to something far greater. This idea is not new. In fact, it's been proven time and time again that success doesn't come from sudden breakthroughs or massive changes, but rather from the consistent effort we put in. James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, explains that focusing on improving by just 1% each day will lead to incredible results over time. The real magic happens when you start making those tiny improvements part of your daily routine. Now, let's talk about a shift in mindset. So many of us focus on goals. I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to start a successful business. I want to write a book. And while goals are important, they can sometimes feel overwhelming. They can also lead to frustration when we don't hit them right away. That's why it's essential to focus not just on the goal itself, but on the systems that will get you there. What do I mean by systems? It's simple. Systems are the daily habits, routines, and processes that help you get closer to your goal. Instead of obsessing over the end result, focus on the small steps you need to take each day. For example, instead of saying, I want to lose 30 pounds, you could say, I will work out for 30 minutes every morning, or I'll make healthier choices for breakfast every day. This shift is crucial because it removes the pressure of having to achieve a big goal right away. You don't need to have the perfect plan from the start. What you need is consistency. Day by day, you'll be improving just 1%. And before you know it, that small improvement will lead you exactly where you want to go. Let me share a story that might make this idea hit home. It's the story of a marathoner who trained for months to compete in a big race. On the first day, he barely managed to run a mile. He was out of breath, his legs were sore, and it felt like a long road ahead. But instead of quitting, he committed to running just a little bit further each day, not by a lot, just by a small amount, every single day. At first, it didn't seem like he was getting much better, but after a few weeks, he noticed that he wasn't as winded after his runs. A few months in, he could run several miles without feeling exhausted. By the time the marathon arrived, he not only completed it, but he did it with a sense of accomplishment that he never thought possible. He didn't become a marathoner overnight. He became one through those small, incremental improvements. That's the beauty of the 1% principle. It's not about making drastic changes or achieving perfection right away. It's about committing to small progress, day in and day out, and letting those small changes compound into something extraordinary. The message here is clear. Improvement doesn't have to be overwhelming. By focusing on making small, incremental changes just 1% better each day, you'll eventually look back and realize how much you've transformed. Small efforts lead to massive results, and consistency will always win over perfection. So, here are 3 clear takeaways to start applying the 1% improvement rule in your life. Start small and build. Don't try to change everything at once. Start with tiny improvements. If you want to read more, start by reading just 1 page a day. If you want to get in shape, start with 5-minute workouts. These small actions build the momentum needed to create lasting change. Focus on systems, not goals. Shift your focus from the outcome to the process. Instead of aiming for the end result, focus on creating habits that move you in the right direction every day. The goal will come naturally when you stick to the system. Track your progress. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see instant results, but tracking your progress helps you visualize how far you've come. Keep a journal or use an app to monitor your daily improvements. You'll be amazed at the changes you can see when you look back over time. Now that we've talked about the power of small improvements and the importance of focusing on systems, let's dive deeper into the second part of this journey. How do we stay motivated when it feels like progress is slow? And what happens when we start to face setbacks? It's inevitable. You'll hit a wall at some point. The 1% rule is all about steady, consistent progress, but that doesn't mean it's always going to feel easy. Sometimes it'll feel like you're making no progress at all. When that happens, it's important to remember that progress doesn't always show up in a straight line. Growth often happens in waves. There will be days or even weeks when it feels like nothing is changing. That's completely normal. So, how do you stay motivated when progress seems slow? Embrace the plateau. There's a term in the fitness world called a plateau. This is when you stop seeing noticeable improvement, even though you're still putting in the same effort. Plateaus are frustrating, but they're also a natural part of the process. The key is to keep going. During a plateau, your body or mind is adapting to the new stress you're putting on it. Eventually, you'll break through and see improvement again. Trust the process and stick with it. Celebrate small wins. Sometimes, the key to staying motivated is celebrating the small victories along the way. Did you stick to your workout routine for a week? Celebrate that. Did you read that 1 page every day for a month? That's a win too. These small celebrations help remind you that every little step counts and are proof that you're making progress. Don't be afraid to adjust your approach. If you feel like your current system isn't working, don't be afraid to adjust it. You don't have to stick with something that's no longer serving you. The 1% principle is about continuous improvement, and that includes being flexible enough to change your approach when needed. As we wrap up, remember this: the key to achieving ultimate change doesn't lie in massive, overwhelming shifts. It lies in the small, consistent improvements you make every single day. By getting just 1% better each day, you'll be amazed at how much you can transform your life. Whether it's your health, career, relationships, or personal growth, small steps lead to big results. The ultimate change you're seeking is possible. It's just a matter of taking it 1 day at a time, embracing small improvements, and trusting the process. Keep building those small wins, stay committed to your systems, and remember, your future self is the result of the small choices you make today.